inspiring. The way that you made, the way that you made. It causes me to bend, it causes me to break. And Lord, speak to me when words are not enough. And Lord, speak through me. Let me sound them of your love. My voice is weak, so in yours I'll trust. So speak the secrets that you tell me. They bring me to my knees. Your whispers overwhelm me. It knocks me off my feet. So here at a cross, I humble my pride. You broke my fall when I stumbled on pride. You saved my life. Oh, and Lord, speak to me when words are not enough. And Lord, speak through me. Let me sound them of your love. My voice is weak, so in yours I'll trust. So speak, and Lord, speak to me when words are not enough. Lord, speak through me. Let me sound them of your love. My voice is weak, so in yours I'll trust. Speak, and Lord, speak to me when words are not enough. Lord, speak through me. Let me sound them of your love. My voice is weak, so in yours I'll trust. So speak. I see the cloud, I step in. I want to see your glory like Moses did. Flashes of light, roars of thunder, but I'm not afraid, no, but I'm not afraid, no. Show me your glory, not afraid. Oh, and I'm not afraid. Oh, but I'm not afraid. Oh, show me your glory. Show me your glory, God. Oh, and show me your glory. Show me your glory. Yeah, I long to look on the face of the one that I love. Long to stay in your presence. It's where I belong. Long to look on the face of the one that I love. Long to stay in your presence. It's where I belong. Show me your glory. Show me your glory. Show me your glory. Show me your glory. 'Cause I long to look on the face of the one that I love. Long to stay in your presence. It's where I belong. I long to look on the face of the one that I love. Long to stay in your presence. It's where I belong. It's where I belong. Father, we just ask that you speak to our hearts this morning, that we would know that we belong in you. Bless this day, Father. We ask that you receive the glory for all that we do. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Good morning. Really? Good morning. Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm excited to be with you guys this morning. I am the college ministry leader at Trinity Church, and I also lead the young adults. And man, it's early, right? You guys awake? Okay, I was thinking about this, about what is it, your last week of school? Next week? Okay, the last 2 weeks of school when I was in junior high and high school, and how much I did not want to be at first period, let alone a meeting before first period. So I get where you guys are at this morning, okay? So just stay with me. I'm just going to share a little bit. I know you guys are on the what is it? The final stretch of your year, the final stretch of before summer, and so I'm just going to share with you guys like we're friends. Is that cool? Yes? So you guys are going to have to talk to me this morning because I'm just as tired as you are, okay? Cool? Thank you. Okay, so again, my name is Emily, and I am from Lubbock. I went to Friendship High School. I grew up really similarly to a lot of you guys did. I was grown up in a Christian home and had incredible parents, a great support system, and I went to Trinity Church my entire life. How many of you guys go to Trinity? So I've seen a bunch of you guys before, but I can remember my senior year, and how young is the youngest person in this room? 7th graders, how old are you guys? 12 and 13? Are there any 18-year-olds in here? 18? Couple 18-year-olds? Okay, I can remember being 17 and 18 years old, and if you would have said, Emily, when you're 24, you are going to be a college pastor, I would have literally said, you're crazy. There's no possible way that that's going to happen. I had just a great plan for my life. I think I was voted like most likely to start to be an entrepreneur, or most likely to be like a businesswoman. And ministry was just never part of the plan. And so let me tell you guys, God has great plans for your lives. Great plans for your lives. but it's probably going to be a little bit different than what you expect it to be. And I'm here to encourage you guys. I'm not here to shoot down anybody's dreams. I'm here to encourage you guys. But the word says, and in 1 Corinthians, I was reading this morning, is that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no human mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. So the plans that you have, that you say, okay, Emily, when you are 24, what do you expect to be doing? Well, I expect to be running a business. I also expect to be married. No ring here yet. Actually, there is a ring, but that's just a normal ring. No wedding ring here yet. I probably expect to be maybe a mom by the time I'm 24. And God's plans for my life looked really differently than that. So I can remember my senior year of high school. It's senior year. All of the seniors are gone. So juniors, how many of you guys know what you're doing when you graduate from high school? Raise your hand. A good bunch of you. Some of you guys are on the fence. My senior year, I had everything planned out for the next 8 years of my life. This is exactly where I was going to school. I had scholarships. I had my room and board set up. It was just all planned out. And I served the Lord. I loved Jesus. And but loving Jesus for me was very easy. It meant going to church on Sundays and being a nice person and being obedient to what older people would tell me to do. So I can remember during my senior year, December of my senior year, which by December the pressure is on, and I already had my plan for 8 years, so I was good. But the Lord spoke to my heart so clearly, and it was one of the most almost audible times that he's ever spoken to me. And he told me, Emily, you're running, and you're running in the wrong direction. I was running, and I was running in the wrong direction. So I was like, oh my goodness, Lord, what does this even mean? At that time, I didn't even know what to do with that word. I didn't know whether to pray about it or whether to talk to somebody about it. But I just said, okay, well, obviously I need to make a different plan. So I made a different plan. I decided to go to a different school, and I applied for that, was accepted really last minute. And it's March of my senior year, got accepted to that school. I'm set. So May of my senior year, like this time, my senior year. So it's like there's no more time to decide what you're going to do. The Lord speaks to my heart again, and he says, Emily, you're running, and you're running in the wrong direction. And I just got this picture of me running towards this cliff, and I'm passing all these stop signs and these stoplights, and I'm about to fall off, and there's all these signs that say, hey, you're going the wrong way. And so I was like, okay, Lord, it's May. I don't have time to make a new plan. And so God began to speak to my heart and tell me that what he had for me, no eye had seen and no ear had heard, nor had it entered into my heart what he had planned for my life. And so, but he asked me, he said, okay, Emily, do you want my plan or do you want a plan that's pretty comfortable? And I said, okay, God, I want your plan. And so I ended up, the Lord began to open doors for me to be involved in a ministry called Master's Commission. And Master's Commission, it's similar to YWAM at, I don't know, or Christ for the Nations. They're all kind of similar. But I ended up for 3 years. How many of you guys have been on Missions Week? A bunch of you. Master's Commission is like an amplified Missions Week. Missions Week plus retreat plus like church camp, and then pile it all together. Now imagine that for 3 years. Just like the most incredible season of I got to travel, and I got to do missions overseas, and I got to speak at conferences for thousands of people and pray with hundreds of people to get saved. It was just like, okay, God, I don't ever want to go back to college because this is way cooler than anything that I had ever expected for myself. And so for 3 years, I was just in this dynamic, awesome, like epic adventure with the Lord of just ministry and loving people. And so then there was this one day, and I was 21 years old, and the Lord said, okay, Em, it's time to go home. And I'm like, you're kidding. Because this is like as epic, and I mean, if there's no eye have seen, no ear has heard, no human mind has conceived what God's prepared for those who love him, this has got to be what you're talking about, Lord. This has got to be the best that it gets. And the Lord said, hey, Em, I want you to go home. So sometimes when you hear God's voice, you say, okay, God, like this, I hear your voice, yes, but just in case your plans don't work out, I'm going to have a plan B just in case. So just in case home didn't work out, I put all my stuff in storage in Dallas, and I said, okay, I'm just going to just pretend that I'm going home and just be there for a couple months, and then I'll be right back in just a minute. And so the Lord taught me, okay, time to let go of that plan B. And so I had to get my stuff out of storage and really move home and move into a season where the Lord asked me to give up everything. And sometimes in life, and this, we as just young people, we tend to build and form our identity around so many things. It could be around a relationship, around your family, around your career path, around being a great student, just so many things. And sometimes the Lord, those are good things that the Lord's made you passionate about. He's given you gifts. He's given you dreams. So for me, he'd given me this dream to be in ministry and to do these things for him. And so here's my dream, and I take care of it, and I love it, and I pour into it. So it's kind of like a puppy. It's like this living thing that's my puppy, and I guard it, and nobody can hurt it, and you better not touch my puppy because it's mine. So the Lord asked me, he said, okay, Emily, I know that, like, you've agreed to, like, walk the journey with me. I said, yes, God. I know that you've surrendered to me. I said, yes, God. Okay, there's this next step. And I'm like, wait, what? There's another step? And he said, yeah, there's another step. And he said, okay, I know this living dream, that it's good, and it's for me, and it's you've built so much, and you've poured so much into it. He said, I want you to put it in the fire. Now imagine my puppy this is a little morbid, imagine putting your puppy in the fire. Do you think that your puppy's going to live? Not a good idea to put your puppy in the fire, right? Am I crazy? Okay, so God asked me in this season, he said, Emily, if none of it comes to pass, none of it, if you're never going to be a wife, if you're never going to be a mom, if you're never going to be in full-time ministry, if you're never going, all these dreams and all this thing that you've built your identity around, if it never happens, will you be faithful to me? And is Jesus enough? And you want to say yes to questions like that. And I said, God, like, I want to say that I'll be faithful if everything that I put my hopes and dreams around never comes to pass. But that's hard. It's hard. But I said, okay, God, like, I love you and you're enough. And so God took me into this season. And seasons, there's some seasoned veterans of the Lord in this room that are your teachers. And I can say that seasons in my life, sometimes seasons, they last a couple months. Sometimes they last a couple years. I'm sure there's teachers in this room that seasons for them have lasted 15 years. But seasons with the Lord sometimes don't last just a few days. So I was like, okay, I can do this for like a couple months and then be running again with whatever God's called me to do. And so this season for my life lasted for 3 years. 3 years of no ministry. 3 years of, okay, I'm just trusting you every day, God. In that, God blessed me. I got to go back to school. Ended up starting a business. I got to do some amazing things, be with my family. But all that time, God was taking me to this place where it was just me and him. And it was just learning to love Jesus when you don't have anything else to depend on. And we don't have anything else to build your life around. Just Jesus, just him. And really built my character in that time because, I mean, I didn't have anything else. Honestly, it was a season of I didn't really even have friends in that time. It was just the Lord taking me to, let's just build me and you. So thank God that season is over. Glory to God. That doesn't sound like a fun season, right? Does not sound fun. So thank God that season is over. Last May, the Lord, actually just about exactly a year ago, I was praying with a friend of mine, and how the Lord works is when you give him things, when you surrender, when you let go of things, he's never going to bring you the old thing back. He's never going to say, here's that Christmas present that you gave up to me 10 years ago. No, he's going to bring you a brand new gift. So the same way when you let go of things like vision or dreams or the plans that you have for your life, when God restores that, when he brings it back to you, it's going to look completely different. It's going to look brand new. so God began to bring me to a place of restoring vision and restoring dreams and restoring just heart and so that was last May, and so I didn't know what that meant, didn't know what that looked like. I knew that God had began to just rebirth all these things in my heart that I had completely let go of, and so for an entire 3-month period, God had a divine appointment for me every day. How many of you guys believe you've ever had a divine appointment? To where, raise your hand so I can see. So where you know that God set you up for this moment to talk to this person or to pray with this friend, or if you're on missions week to love on this kid, and you're like, this is the moment that the Lord made. So I had one of those moments every day for 3 months. And I was just like trusting God, and it was awesome. And still, I was like, I have no idea, God, what you're planning, but I know it's good, and I know that I trust you, and I know that here's the relationship that was formed in this season of the hard place. And now, God, I know that I'm ready for whatever you have, and I'm willing to go or do whatever you have. And so God began to just order my steps and brought me to Trinity and brought me on staff, and it has been like the most unbelievable few months of being on staff at Trinity and working with college students. You guys are all eventually going to be college students. Woohoo! You can come hang out with me. We have a lot of fun. And so, and just like seeing students fall in love with Jesus and knowing that I get to be a part of that and like pouring into them and seeing them change their campuses and change their worlds. And I get to be a part of that. It's just the most incredible season and incredible thing. And I'm walking right now today in the place that, man, I know without a shadow of a doubt, without any hesitation, without any fear, that this is exactly what God has for my life, exactly his timing, exactly his purpose. And my heart and my prayer is that all of you guys, and I know, I mean, let's just be real, like this season is probably not going to last forever. There's going to be a next season. There's might be another desert season, just because we're always learning, we're always growing. But I know that like the Lord has taught me to hear his voice and to be obedient no matter the cost. And that is my heart for you guys, is that you guys would get to the point where it's Jesus, loving Jesus. It's not just this thing that you do in the mornings when you come to chapel, or on Wednesday nights when you go to youth group, or on Sundays when you go to church with your families. But loving Jesus is an adventure. Loving Jesus is epic. Loving Jesus is the most exciting ride that you'll ever go on. And it's going to be scary at times. It's going to look like I don't know what's coming. But just like what that scripture said this morning, no eye has seen. That means your eyes, you haven't seen. No ear has heard. Your ears haven't heard and hasn't been conceived in the heart of man. It hasn't come into your heart what God has planned for your life. It's bigger. It's greater. So a couple just takeaway points before I let you guys go to your great classes. The first one is let go. Whatever that thing is in your life that's holding you back from serving the Lord with all of your heart, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let go. The next thing is listen to his voice and believe his word. That first, listen to his voice. Imagine if I had been in my senior year and I said, okay, God, I hear your voice of me. I'm running in the wrong direction, and I don't know what that means, but I already have my plan, and I already know what I want to do with my life, so sorry, I'm good. I think God has a way of getting you where you need to go, but how many of you guys have heard the story of Jonah? Most of us, we grew up in Sunday school. I would much rather get there, just take the boat straight to Nineveh than go through the belly of the whale to get there, right? So, I mean, God had a way of getting Jonah where he needed to go, and I feel like God has a way of getting you guys where you need to go. But I would much rather listen to his voice the first time than say, okay, my way's better, and I'm just going to trust what I feel. And then believe his word. So believe that God has great plans for you. Believe that God's ordering your steps. He says the steps of a righteous man and woman are ordered by the Lord. And so you guys are righteous because of Jesus, because that's a free gift that he's offered us. And so that means your steps are ordered every day, every moment. In the same way that I had divine appointment every day for 3 months, You guys can have that this summer. You don't have to have a summer where you're just at the pool doing nothing. You can have an epic adventure to where you are loving people and praying for people, and people are getting healed, and just amazing things can happen, and God can use you. You don't have to wait until you're 24 or 34. He can use you now. And then the next thing is live big. So the expectations that you have for your life, go further. The things that you say, okay, it'd be cool if I if I was an engineer. Go further. Imagine being an engineer drilling oil in other countries that are providing finances for this little village that has nothing. That's because God told you to be an engineer. He's using that now to provide for an entire village of people. God can use you guys in incredible ways, but just go further than what you expect. Go further than what you think you can do. And then the last one is live your life as a voice and not an echo. It would be really easy, and it is really easy to just say, okay, I'm just going to be just like everybody else. That person, the senior class that went before me, I'm just going to be just like them, and they did this way, and so we're going to do this way. But I believe, I'm assuming there's maybe like 250 students in this room. I'm believing that there's 250 individual voices, individual men and women of God. Each of you guys are gifted and called, and you guys can make a difference. But that means finding out who you are in the Lord and being that person. Don't try to be like somebody else, because your voice is needed. So thanks for listening to me this morning. Get you guys out of here a minute early. Just love you guys, and I believe in you guys, and know that you guys have great plans ahead of you guys, and it's coming soon. So let's pray. Father God, we love you, God. Thank you so much that walking with you is never boring, that our steps are ordered, Lord, and that you have incredible plans for us. God, I thank you for these students. I pray, God, you begin to birth incredible dreams in their hearts, Lord, just beyond what we could see, beyond what we could hear, beyond what we can imagine, Lord. And I pray, God, that you begin to just give them the boldness and the strength to be who you've created them to be. And we love you. Thank you that school's almost over. And bless this day in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all.